Hello everyone. In this topic, we are going to study about the acid catalyzed dehydration of alcohols. The dehydration means removal of water molecules, and the acid is behaving like a catalyst, so it is called as acid catalyzed dehydration. And since we are studying the dehydration of alcohols, therefore the title is acid catalyzed dehydration of alcohols. So, whenever a water molecule is removed from the alcohols in the presence of concentrated acid, it always yields alkene. So, this reaction is acid catalyzed dehydration reaction. For example, if we have an alcohol, if we have an alcohol, the hydroxyl groups of the alcohols will combine with the hydrogen of the neighboring carbon to form water molecule. So, we can say that the two valency of both the carbon will get free and both the carbons combine with each other to form the double bond. So, in this manner, the formation of alkene takes place. Taking an example of ethyl alcohol. Ethyl alcohol have one hydroxyl group and one of the hydrogen will combine to form water molecule. So, therefore, it will yield an alkene. Similarly, taking an example of secondary and tertiary alcohols. The secondary alcohols, in the secondary alcohol, the hydroxyl group of this carbon will combine with the hydrogen of the neighboring carbon, suppose this carbon. I repeat, the hydroxyl group will combine with the hydrogen of neighboring carbon. So it will form water molecules and the neighboring hydrogen will get reduced from 3 to 2 and the bonds will increase from single to double, that is the formation of alkenes. Similarly, in case of tertiary alcohols, the hydroxyl group of the compound will combine with one of the hydrogen of the neighboring carbon. Suppose this carbon's hydrogen combines with the hydroxyl group, so it will give water molecule and the number of bonds between these both carbon will increase from 1 to 2. That is the double bond formation will take place and the formation of alkenes will occur. The mechanism of the reaction is very important according to the examination point of view. The mechanism is carried out in three main steps. In the first step, the oxygen of alcohol, which is rich in electrons, will attack the hydrogen of hydrogen ion, which is liberated from the acid. I repeat, the oxygen of alcohol is electron rich in nature. It will attack the hydrogen ion which is obtained from the acid. So it will form a new bond with the hydrogen and the compound so formed will be called as protonated alcohol. The protonated alcohol so formed is unstable in nature because the oxygen is having three bonds, which is not possible. So, soon it will liberate the water molecule in this manner. Soon it will liberate the water molecule in this manner. I repeat, the protonated alcohol is unstable in nature, so it will liberate the water molecule in this manner and the resultant compounds so formed will be carbocation. So we can say that the carbocation formed in the mechanism is the intermediate which explain the reactivity of the alcohols. I repeat, the intermediates formed in this mechanism is the carbocation which explain the reactivity of different types of alcohols. The reactivity of the alcohols depends on the types of carbocations formed in the mechanism of the reaction. Types of carbocations means whether it is primary or secondary or tertiary. So, the carbocations so formed in the second steps will convert to alkene by withdrawing the electron from the hydrogen, from one of the hydrogen. I repeat, the carbocation so formed will be converted to ethene when the carbon withdraws electrons from one of its hydrogen. The hydrogen gets freed in the form of hydrogen ion and an ethene is formed. So, the mechanism explains that the reactivity of alcohols depends on the types of carbocation formed in the reaction. Therefore, we can say that the tertiary alcohol is more reactive than secondary and then primary because tertiary alcohols are more stable. It means the dehydration of tertiary alcohols will take place very easily as comparative to secondary and primary. So, here are some questions that you have to practice in your copy.